Hey Dave, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good, good. Thanks for joining me today and a little bit of an impromptu discussion. We've got some exciting news. For those of you who aren't aware, Propel Physiotherapy is opening up a new location in Peterborough, and it's headed
Woo.
by our registered physiotherapist extraordinaire, David Friesen. So Dave, let's kind of cut to the chase. I know it's exciting news, and I'm obviously very excited about it myself. Your transition to Peterborough was a bittersweet pill for us at Propel Etobicoke to kind of swallow. Do you know? We knew you would be going on to awesome things. We didn't know it would transpire into something like this. Um, can you can you kind of give us the Coles Notes version of how Propel Peterborough came to be? And did you ever think this day would come?
Yeah, I think I always had it in the back of my mind at the very least. It was yeah, it was a big leap leaving Toronto, leaving the clinic that I'd been at for about 10 years and making my way up to Peterborough with my family. So we moved here about 3 years ago now.
Wow, it's been three
And
years, eh? Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
it is crazy. Yeah.
time flies. Yeah.
Yeah, most exactly. So Um, yeah, so when we moved, it was kind of the game plan was just to start treating people in the community, seeing where we could take that, building our presence and our kind of community outreach up here and kind of see how that go. I'd never done that full time before, so it was a bit of
Right.
an interesting concept, but it seemed to work well, and lots of people around here needed the
Yeah.
in-home and in-community physiotherapy. So we grew it up, and now there's four of us out in the community working away.
Nice.
And yeah, excited to have an actual clinical space to be kind of the hub of that community center, right?
I'm gonna backtrack us just a couple of seconds here, but you when you transitioned to Peterborough, it was also just the beginning almost of COVID-19 and the pandemic, and
Yeah.
clinics and clinicians were kind of struggling on how to like figure out this system. Did you have a sense of like where the community physiotherapy would take off, or did you think like, oh my goodness, what's going on here, or was it somewhere in between? Did you see like a possibility, but it had to come to fruition through hard work? How did it go?
Yeah, I think once we started things up, the referrals started coming in pretty
Yeah,
regularly, and then with
yeah,
that, I kind of realized that there was a big need for it, and just looking in and around Peterborough, there wasn't too many other companies, if at all, that were offering this service. So once you see that gap in care, you're gonna try to fill that gap with what
yeah.
you can do.
Good point.
So yeah, it came, pretty steadily right from the beginning and just kind of grown more and more since that time.
All right, so Dave, what are you looking forward to the most once our brick and mortars are up and running and you can open the door and do your assessments and treatments within a clinical space? What are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, it's gonna be a great day to have the clinic finally up and running. It's been a little bit of a long time in the making, so it'll
Yes.
be awesome. But yeah, just looking forward to spending time with colleagues. I've been on the road, kind of in my car on my own, traveling to my clients. So it'll be nice to just have other colleagues around in that space, be able to kind of like work with other people, problem solving, all the things that we do as physios to try to use to get the best care for our clients. And just the other thing is like to have the actual setup of equipment, that I
Yeah.
don't get to bring into clients' homes, such as like, a new step or treadmill. We don't have access to that all the time. And
Right.
so yeah, the setup, the colleagues, and the lack of driving. The 5 minute walk from my house is going to be great.
I was gonna say the classic water cooler talk is probably one of the things that I missed a lot when I was doing a lot of community physiotherapy and on the days that I was heavily on the road. It was like, oh man, I miss seeing my my friend or my colleague right next to me, and we can kind of like shoot the breeze a little bit and compare maybe treatment techniques or like just talk about something random, like, did you see the show on Netflix kind of thing, and go on with our day.
Exactly.
It definitely
And I
makes
think
yeah,
for clients as well, right? Like it's
yeah,
nice to see other clients in the clinic setting. It's nice to be able to provide in-home care, but at the same time, they're not seeing other people working away at their rehab, and I think that's a huge part of what we offer.
right, right. And I think that kind of bleeds into, the next question. It's what makes Propel Peterborough unique to other clinics in the area. And you kind of touch base on, like, you can see them full spectrum, right? Like transitioning maybe back from the hospital into home, or something that's really acute at home where they can't come out for a variety of reasons, whether or not it's like arranging transportation, or they just can't get out at that moment. You can go to them. And then once they're
Yeah.
ready and once they're prepared to step into the clinic, you have a space that you can say, like, hey, look, you were at step A. Now we can get to step B, and hopefully we can get you all the way down the alphabet, so to speak, right? So I think
Yeah.
I think that's really unique. But is there anything else that you can kind of see from Propel Peterborough?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, yeah, exactly what you're just saying, just like offering that full rehab kind of process, and being able to stick with people right from step one, right, until they're back in the community. Some people maybe will jump right to the clinic if their transportation needs are met to be able to get to the clinic, and then we go out to, a gym or a community setting afterwards too. Like it doesn't have to be a set way. So yeah, I think we're really going to be really flexible in offering that. I don't think many other clinics in the area do that. And then just having the some of the equipment and the kind of setup to treat neurological complex ortho, like the above head sorry, harness that we're
Yeah.
gonna have there, the new step, just some different things that are key to treating clients with those injuries. Big bow bath style treatment bed, like wider than you would usually be. So
Yeah.
all those things I think will make it quite unique.
No, that's great, man. It sounds like really exciting times for Peterborough. I was also thinking, like, from the full spectrum of physiotherapy and continuity of care, when you see someone from their home and then in the clinic, like, you're almost bringing them into like a lab setting or a clinical setting, right? And then, like, whatever you practice there, you can literally, now that you've seen their home and you know exactly what they're trying to say when they're saying, like, oh, my front porch steps, like, they're okay to go up and down, but for whatever reason my basement steps going up and down, I just can't do it, right? So now you
Right.
can literally say, like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I've been there. I know those
Yeah.
steps are different. They're narrower. It's darker, right? Like, maybe there's like a visual impairment we need to address. But it's really like being just a couple levels like deeper in the discussion of their goals, I think. And that kind of it'll resonate for sure with some of the clients that you see from home bringing into the clinic, and then vice versa, as you said, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Uh, is there, like, a, a brick and mortar, as we call it, or a clinical setting? Sometimes it can just be that. It can just be, it's a rectangle. We've got rooms. There's equipment in there. We do our thing. Do you see Propel Peterborough as a clinic that does more than that within the community? Where do you see it in a couple of years? And if you had like the vision kind of thing, like, where do you see it in a couple of years?
Yeah. I mean, the world's our oyster, right? Like we're just starting out here, we're just growing it. So I think we're gonna start off with about 3 or 4 physiotherapists, hopefully add in some RMTs and maybe OTs down the road. And then maybe some other professionals that we haven't even considered yet, but we're looking to grow the team and make it very all encompassing and kind of treat our clients to the fullest. So that in the clinic space itself. And then, yeah, I just think being more and more part of the community here will be great. I've made quite a few contacts with different people in the community so far, and like kind of the geriatric and kind of neurological world
Mhm.
of what's going on up here in Peterborough. So continuing on with that, and being part of the like the activity and wellness kind of part of part of Peterborough. I think it'll be great. Continue growing it that way and continue making contacts, and yeah, well, it should be good.
I like the first sentence. The world is your oyster. It is, man. It is. That's amazing. And I think that's an appropriate approach to something that's so new in the area, right? Like uncharted kind of territory, right? Lots of newness for us in Peterborough. It sounds like the community's been really welcoming, which is really, really great.
Yeah,
And it sounds like you
totally.
guys have, from your own lifestyle area, it sounds like you guys have got an awesome setup there, and we can't wait for you to be part of that brick and mortar, so to speak, and be around the corner from there. So it's really nice. Um, when when we speak about some of the reflectively looking back, when we started together in Etobicoke or Toronto, and we were in a smaller space, so to speak. If you could tell yourself something, as the classic, like, if you could go back in time and tell yourself uh, about what's about to happen now, what are some words of wisdom you would tell yourself at that time?
If I was looking back to
Yeah.
young Dave,
Grow
young
the beard,
physio,
Dave. Lean into the beard. Yeah.
yes, listening to every word Kyle spoke. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like it's hard to say. I think every physio really has to go through a bit of a journey to, like,
Good
just
point.
gain experience and kind of like forge their own path and like decide what they really want to get into more, because there's just so many different areas as a physio that you can really focus on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad that a lot of the things that, or how a lot of the things went for me in my path. Yeah, like taking some of the early bath courses on how to treat neurological rehab, I think were huge. So definitely kind of stay on that path. And yeah, I mean, I think things have gone pretty well overall. So I think, yeah,
Yeah.
just growing with Propel has been great. And so I would have just told myself just to stick with that.
Continue is what you would have said. That's awesome, man. Is there, I mean, okay, so the last question here is um we won't do the whole sneak peek thing because I think Nikki's got a couple of things up her sleeve that we can share a couple of photographs and videos along the way as we prepare to open in Peterborough. Are there any, mm, I would say, like maybe verbal descriptions on how you foresee the clinical space looking or feeling, or what the vibe is you would want to give some of the potential clients or the clients that you're already seeing as they come in? What is the feeling or the vibe that you want to give them?
Yeah, that's a good question. Um, I think, yeah, just hopefully it's super welcoming to all clients, all different types of people, no matter what their impairment may be. I just want to make it as, comfortable and welcoming for everybody to feel good in that space. And yeah, so we kind of offer two different like sides of the clinic as it's going to be set up. There's going to be 4 private treatment rooms for those clients that need that privacy or would benefit more from those quieter spaces.
Yeah,
And then the other side is a nice bright open gym
nice.
area with 3 or 4 physio treatment beds and lots of equipment to work on. It'll be kind of our more up tempo and exercise, part of the clinic. So it'll be maybe a little bit louder and more upbeat. So
You're
we'll
gonna have
kind of have the
the
two different sides of things going on,
get the
and so we
speakers
can kind of
going, just dial
cater
it
to
up.
everyone. Yeah, you just bought those new
Nice.
speakers, so
Yeah, that's right.
we're excited to get
I got to
those
figure
in
out how to make them
working
work
condition.
now. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's a good sneak
Yeah.
peek. I can envision it even better now. So that's great.
Yes.
Yeah. So Dave, I mean, thanks so much for taking some time out of your day. If there's any last words that you want to leave the potential Peterborough clients with, or anything you want to leave us as a parting message?
Yeah, just excited. And excited for all those clients that I've been working with over the years. If they can make it into the clinic to see it when it is up and running, I'm really excited to kind of show it off. I've been talking it up a lot, so hopefully, come January, we can show it off a little bit and get all those clients in there to have a look at least.
That's awesome. All right, man. Thanks so much for your time,
Nice.
and we'll chat with you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right.